Hello.
Hi, Simon. How do you do?
Pleasure to meet you again, gentlemen.
You again.
Hey, you guys. Yes.
Hey, guys.
So, gents, I'm curious. You've Formula One's a bit of a niche sport in some. Well, no, I'm lying. Formula One's a great sport, but it's got
the biggest television sport in the world.
in places like America, it's not got that big a following, and yet this film is a very big film for a British movie.
Yes.
Worried?
Yeah, it's a big Hollywood movie that we've made in Europe. We shot it partly in England. No, we're not worried at all. We made it partly in Europe and partly in England, partly in Germany, so in the Nürburgring where Niki had his accident. No, are you asking me how it's going to perform in America?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I think it'll perform very strongly in America because Ron Howard is a huge star director in America. First of all. Can you hear me with that noise? He's a huge director in America and a very popular guy, and people go and see Ron's movies. Ron is very famous for making very emotionally powerful movies about true stories, like Backdraft, like Apollo 13, like Frost Nixon, and so forth. And so we have that emotion in this movie. I think Americans will go and see that. Secondly, when you see the movie, the action is fantastic. You don't have to know anything about Formula One. You're just completely gripped by what is going on with the racing and the way it's shot. 35, 36 cameras used to shoot some of the scenes. Better than you'll ever see it on television because we can do different angles and so forth. And it's deeply emotional. And for women love the movie. It's very sexy. It's very emotional for them. They get very caught up with both the guys. The playboy personality, the perfectionist personality, so is a perfect combination when you put it together. So I think the emotion, the Ron Howard, the spectacular background, that's what will work in America.
You talk about the scale of this movie. Is that the future for British film?
Well, as I say, I mean, I don't think it's about being a British film. I think it's a global film, a universal film. I mean, you know, it's a Hollywood-style movie that was made both in England but also in Europe. Obviously, the crew travelled to Germany, to all parts of Europe to shoot the film. So I think it's, you know, I don't think it should be just perceived as a UK film only.
We do try to make big British films. We made The Woman in Black last year, which was the most successful British horror film in history. And we're hoping this will be a very, very successful movie here as well. So we would like to make bigger British movies, yes.
I think it's a big independent film as well. I mean, that's the major point. It's a studio picture, but it looks like a studio picture, but it's actually an independent film.
And it's great to have Ron Howard, who's an American studio director, come and make an independent movie in Europe with us, and we very much hope that we'll do that again with him.
And finally, how do you convey the excitement of Formula One? How do you make sure you get that Formula One feel on screen for the audience to experience?
I think you'd be better to ask Ron that question when he comes round, and Anthony Dodmantle, the cameraman, the director of photography, because it's all about the way they lit it and coloured it and shot it, and the use of these cameras in different angles. So rather like when you're watching Formula One on TV, there's often a camera behind the head and you can see in one direction. With us, because we've got so many cameras, you can see spatially side, you can see the cars coming up here, and so you get a completely different feel when you see it on the screen to the way that you would, even though they're the real Formula One cars. Those are the cars that they were racing on the screen. Those are the real period cars.
Thank you very much.